What you doing on your computer?
What's a computer?
Hey guys, it's Charlie with That Makes Sense to Me. The only rule here is less videography and more thoughts. Like lots of people, I suckered in by the concept that a mobile machine would actually be able to meet all of my computing needs. And I wanted to just share quickly my thoughts about whether or not this experiment actually works. Who am I to make this video? I have had two iPad Pros. I had the 9.7 when it came out, and I used it as a supplemental device for teaching. And then when I transitioned back to grad school full-time, I actually went to full iPad Pro for everything that I was doing on a mobile computer. Now, I have another computer that I keep at home. It's a desktop, and I'm making this video because I traveled home for the holidays and brought an old laptop with me as a sort of backup, and my old laptop broke, and it was when my old laptop broke that I realized just how much I was relying on actual computers that run full OSs as a way to get through my daily grind of like computational tasks. So the structure of this video is going to be this. I want to talk about three things that make the iPad kind of awesome and a really good supplement for a computer, and then I want to talk about two or three things that ultimately mean that the iPad doesn't function as a computer replacement in the way that Apple would want you to see that it is. Okay, so let's go. First, battery life. Battery life on the iPad Pro is awesome. It's better than a lot of laptops. You can go a day and a half, 2 days without charging it, and I don't have it with me, but you can have like mobile chargers that are $20, $40, and you can charge the whole thing 2 or 3 times. So I effectively did not need outlets ever, which was great. Another point that's really great about them is they are very modular. So I have a Logitech case on it right now. This thing has a keyboard on it, but if I want, I can use the smart keyboard, I can use the on-screen keyboard, I can use the stylus, I can download a Swift key or swipe keyboard apparatus and type there. I can take handwritten notes, I can voice record notes, I can use it as a mobile document scanner, and it has a very high quality camera on it, so I can do all of these modular things that laptops right now just don't do. Laptops have keyboard mouse interface, and unless you're going to buy a bunch of extra hardware, that's what you're stuck with. And mentioning the Apple Pencil is actually an amazing thing. As a teacher, I would use the Apple Pencil as a way to draw on the smartboard. So I would open up an app called Notability, and I would use Notability as a blackboard, and I could walk around the room and wirelessly project my anything I wanted onto the board. That could be a video, that could be a picture of a student's work, which we could then annotate. I could hand the board, access to the board, to a student, and they could annotate another student's work. It was amazing. It's a way of interfacing with computers that you just don't get on a laptop unless it's a convertible, and that's a really great thing. However, what I realized when my laptop broke and I was stuck at home without a main computer, I just had my iPad, is that there are so many tasks that they're either impossible on the iPad Pro, or they take significantly longer to do in terms of the user interface. Now, so let's get 2 examples. Example number 1, I was working on applications online, and I had to work with online forms. Online forms did not cooperate with the internet on an iOS device. It just didn't work. I could not fill out the forms. I needed to use another computer, and I was unable to finish the work that I needed to get done. The second one, if you are a professional in any capacity, whether you are working with Word documents or emails or any kind of professional needs their workflow to have some degree of efficiency in it, if it's something that happens repeatedly throughout your day, I did not realize how much I was depending on my home machine and machines at libraries and other places to work with multiple Word documents at the same time. On an iPad Pro, if you want to work with multiple Word documents, you have to do it all with your fingers. You have to exit the Word document that you're in. You have to swipe and slide and move through your file interface to find the other Word document. Maybe it's in recent, and so it's only 2 or 3 taps. But then you have to tap it again. Split screen functionality helps with this process, but aside from maybe Safari, there's no split screen functionality for multiple windows within the same application, which for me, since I'm doing research and writing about it, I must work with multiple PDFs, I must work with multiple Word documents, and it's effectively a deal breaker how slow that thing is. If you're going to rely on something as part of your professional workflow, and it's going to take you 3 to 5 times longer every single time you do it, dozens of times a day, and it occasionally will just not be able to do what you need, it's not going to work as your primary work device. I hear a lot of people who use the iPad Pro when they're going mobile, and it's 100% a great thing to do. If you take it to a bar or a library, you can really have this light, portable, long battery life, pretty functional device. And I want to end on one final example. In our school's library, we have an AirPrint service where if you have your own laptop, you can print to the school's computer and you can get your printed document wherever you are. However, with the iPad Pro, there is no way for this AirPrint server to work. You can't access it. There's no way. I've tried a billion things. I'm not a coder, but I'm decently tech savvy, and there's no workaround to make it happen. Workaround is the word that best summarizes how you will be living your life if you choose to adopt the iPad Pro as your core computing device. You will be constantly searching for workarounds, many of which I learned and invested in because I wanted to make it work, that was really the right product. But just like the example of the library, either the job is impossible to do, as in the case of printing, or it just takes far, far longer and is much less efficient, and you have to find workarounds to make the job work. Now, what it was a persistent concept in my brain for 6 months, and what I'm making this video to help share with you is when you are an owner of an iPad Pro and you're in the experiment, you feel like an early adopter, and you are to a certain degree, and the apps are getting better, and each update brings more and more capacity. iOS 11 brought a split screen, and that was great. But if you're in a situation where I was when I was back at home, and I needed to get online documents filled out, you can't wait on iOS to possibly give you a solution for the thing that you need to get done now. It just doesn't work if you're attempting to work as a professional in any capacity. Does an iPad work as a supplement to a computer? 100%. But is it there right now at the beginning of 2018? No. And for most of what I needed to do, I needed a supplementary computer to make it happen. Okay, so conclusions. The battery life is amazing. The battery life is better than a whole lot of laptops, and when you combine it with the fact that it's easily and cheaply chargeable with an external battery source, you can go for days without ever attaching it to a wall, and it's excellent. It's modular. You have lots of different ways to creatively interact with a device, and it, with the pencil, gives you interesting ways to compute that you didn't have before. 3D modeling and taking notes if you're in class as a student, or projecting things onto the board if you're a teacher. But if you're going to rely on this as your professional device, the number of workarounds that you will have to work through every single time that you need to get a computational task done is likely going to make it not worth it for you in terms of efficiency over the long term. And if you're like me, you'll end up turning to more traditional computing interfaces to get the work done that you need to get done. Okay. Hope this was useful to some of you. And I've been away from YouTube for a while, working on other shenanigans. Expect a couple videos coming soon about... I'll just let you see because I don't want to commit to something that I can't actually make. All right, have a great night, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.